This episode of Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks podcast.
Hello, everyone. Back by Lilith's demand. More Captain America. It's another Comic Capers. This is going to be a big one, folks. Lilith Hellfire, Part 1. Lilith Hellfire and I will cover Captain America, Streets of Poison from Captain America 372 through 378. And then Part 2, you'll hear myself and Charlie Esser cover the backup stories from those issues. The U.S. Agent backup from Captain America 383. And the whole issues of Captain America 385 and 386. Yes, I am a masochist. Anyway, I am Phil. As I said, Part 1 joining me is...
Hey y'all, it's Lilith Hellfire. What up, nerds? It's a Friday night, so prerequisite, nobody tell Rob, and another one.
I love how you're like, hello, nerds. You know, was that the...
Greetings and salutations, my fellow nerds. Would you prefer that? I get it. Pickle.
Anyway, yes.
Not City on Fire, City on Ice, by the way.
Streets of Poison. Oh, yes. City on Ice. Vanilla Ice.
Get it, guys?
Vanilla Ice would Vanilla Ice would have like to have a word with you.
Wow. Queen would like to have a word with him, so I guess we're all...
Oh, that's right. All right. Yes, this was the big summer event from 1990.
Oh my god.
The bi-weekly.
Get it? Bi-weekly? Get it? Because it's comics?
Stop that, Kona! Anyway, yes. Part 1, Captain America 372, of course, by my favorite Cap writer, Mark Grunwald. Hey, you got Ron Lim art. You enjoyed the art, didn't you?
Of course.
Of course.
I mean, I don't know why this story exists, but it's fun.
It's an event. But yes.
It was 90. I'll forgive it.
Captain America going for a ride on his new Sky Cycle.
Blech.
Going to see his main squeeze, Diamondbacks. They just had I think their first official first date last issue.
Just everything about it is just such cringe.
And hey, look, there's a creeper checking her out from the next roof. It's Boomslang of the Serpent Society.
Serpent Society? Why did it have to be snakes?
At least he was not on a plane.
That would have been more entertaining.
It's just... And this isn't good surveillance. He's listening to music. When you want it, baby.
No. I love how he's like, the fire escape. But I know an even quicker way. Classic Captain America somersault. I'm like, careful not to fall on your head, you know?
Oh, yeah. Flipping down that street light. Yeah.
Then he hits him with the fireman pole like Magic Mike in the house. Go ahead.
Yeah, because once Boomslang sees Captain America, he takes off running, but then runs down an alleyway and should have asked the Waynes how that turns out.
Yeah, especially in New York City.
Oh yeah, because Cap comes running up and sees a bunch of I guess they're supposed to be teenagers, but they look pretty old.
As all teenagers in media do, unless you're Normie,
and of course,
or Kurt Connor's kids.
And of course, they have cool names like Tone Deaf, and they talk cool like Chill the...
Another one!
Chill the Mother.
Oh, classic white man writing young urban youth. Gotta love it.
And again, I mean, I could see other characters, but they don't recognize Captain America.
They're too cool for school, homie.
I guess.
They ain't been watching them PSAs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Cap starts taking them down. Then after he drop kicks the one in the face, he's like, hey, if you rest, you want to...
I have to go easy on him.
If I have time. But yeah, after he drop kicks the one in the face, he's like, anyone else want to avoid the emergency room? Get down on the ground. And they do. So then I guess the cops show up, but then a half hour later, Cap's like, Boomslang's 50-50. One of the kids is DOA. Dead on arrival.
They you.
So that Cap's no longer in the mood, so he goes back to Avengers headquarters, where Security Chief Michael O'Brien says, "Oh, hey, I think there's something wrong with Fabian.
You don't think?
He's lost a ton of weight, and he won't shut up."
I'm sure it doesn't work like that. I'm sure.
The Cap's like, he's like, "Oh my lord, it looks like he dropped like 30 pounds in in a few weeks." He's like, "What are you working on?" He's like, "It's a debugging device, a brain debugging device. The masters of evil planted a biobug in my brain. I can hear everything I think."
I think that's meth.
Oh yeah. And then he's like, "Wait, you're not Cap. Cap parts his hair on the other side. You're an imposter." And then Cap's like, "Come on."
Could you imagine if he actually literally only parted his hair one way, and then the one day he wanted to try something new?
But then he's like, "Fabian, we don't test for drugs," but he's like, "Oh, there's so much.
We're about to start."
There's so much pressure around here living up to the Avengers standards." One night after working 3 days straight, a friend of mine offered me a hit. I felt so good.
I would have took this a little more seriously had they said like Adderall, something like that.
But again,
the kids actually use.
But again, it's 1990. Was like were coke and meth like more prevalent in these days?
Is this crack or is it coke? I don't know. Maybe they wanted to stay away from the crack because the government put it in black neighborhoods. I don't know. Which is a lot more we could have done with this story, but
yeah, I know.
We weren't brave enough. It's fine.
But then, one hit lasted me the whole.
This is like when Arsenal got when Speedy got AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah. But yeah,
that's what this reminds me of.
One hit lasted me a whole day, and I lost a ton of weight.
Oh yeah, definitely. They don't know anything about drugs.
Yeah, I know. What is it you're using? Ice. It's something like crack, but it lasts a lot longer. Remember, kids, crack.
Yeah, it's meth. Spoiler alert, it's meth, kids. As someone who lives in Florida.
Remember, kids, crack kills.
Yep.
Don't kick me out of the Avengers, please. Well, it should have been like, you're not really an Avenger. You're just like...
Yeah, like, calm down there, homie.
But it's like, Cap's like, we don't allow drug use, and, I'll get you in a rehabilitation program. The Avengers are role models. We can't have people using illegal substances. But Cap, what about the super soldier serum? Don't you owe your powers to a drug?
It's a serum. And he's not John Walker. That's all you know, the messed up testosterone formula.
It's the 40s. We didn't know better. They made me smoke like a whole pack before I went in for that.
To be fair, Hitler supposedly did methamphetamine, so to be fair. That's the propaganda anyway.
Yeah. So while Cap's escorting Fabian out, we see two suspicious characters at the scene of the shooting. I guess looking to see if the cops found something. And then a mysterious woman, we don't see who, but I'm assuming it's Diamondback, shows up. Since it's like right down the street from her apartment. And whoever this is has long hair. But then back at Avengers headquarters, Captain America is still thinking what Fabian said about the super soldiers here.
Hypocrite! Hypocrite!
Again, it was the 40s. Come on. I wonder if the super soldier formula was the forerunner of the steroid compound.
I mean, if they did secretly steal it from the Nazis, probably had meth in it. That's all I'm saying. Probably had some methamphetamines in it.
But then, he's thinking, I'm supposed to be one of America's staunchest protectors, but I really haven't addressed the drug problem. And he's like, I had to wait till it almost exploded in my backyard before I took notice. Better late than never. I've got to do something about the drug problem starting right now, as he's doing his research at the computer.
Also, very hard traveling heroes discovering things about the country. I'm just saying, I've seen it done better. No offense.
But then meanwhile, somewhere upstate, we see a man in a, looks like a hospital gown. He gets no bed. He gets a mat cemented to the floor. His clothing.
What is this, DC? Where's the toilet? We gotta see the toilet.
The toilet's there, but everything, everything's like one piece. There's no knobs or faucets. The toilet has no lid.
He's in jail. That's jail. Hit the murder.
Oh, yeah. But no, I mean, this guy is This guy can use... who is this guy who can use anything as a weapon? He's allowed no hard food. His thrice daily mush is dispensed through a recessed spigot and into a bowl that is bolted to the floor. He's allowed...
this is getting into kinky territory. I'm just saying, not the kink shame.
Oh, you think that's bad?
There's some subtext.
Twice a month, he is shot with a tranquilizer dart and taken unconscious for a sponge bath and a medical exam.
And they're making money on the internets with that. That's all I'm saying.
It's like a fourth date for Lilith. Checking those boys. But
It's better to be the scrubber than the scrubby.
Hey-oh. But then this guy bashes his face into the wall, so he's bleeding. The guards come in, but then he loosened his tooth, so he could he uses it to I guess blind the one guard, grabs his gun, shoots the other one.
Could you imagine somebody stabbing you in the eye with their tooth?
This man can use anything.
Who does he think he is? Bullseye?
How dare you? So he has the other guard by gunpoint. He's like, have no illusions, you're gonna die, but first you're gonna escort me out of here.
Now move. Woof.
Get it? His tooth's missing, so he's talking funny now. But then back at Avengers headquarters, Cap's asking Fabian, where'd you get your drugs from? Guy goes by the street name Kid Gloves. Boy, that's a tough name.
Oh, wow.
Hangs out near the train stop on Continental Avenue in Queens. Oh, it's Aunt May's drug dealer.
Oh my God, they're playing Pump Up the Jam Technotronic. I just realized. Oh my God, this is a 90. This is definitely a 1990 book.
1990. Yep. So yes, later.
This guy looks like a crappy Oliver Queen, by the way.
Well, what's a disguise? It's Captain America.
I know. I'm just saying he looks like a crappy Oliver Queen.
So,
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because he goes up to the Kid Gloves. He's like, Fabian sent me. He's like, no, you're a friend.
This is entrapment. Shame on you, Captain.
Well, he pulls a gun on Cap, and Cap, just twists the gun down. He's like, yeah, I heard replacing kneecaps is quite painful. And I love Kid Gloves. He's like, who are you, a narc? Cap's like, no worse. Oh my God, you're the Punisher. And Cap, hadn't thought of that. Cap's like, yeah, okay, good, yeah.
I'm not bad at my job.
Hey, it scares it scares Kid Gloves. He's like, that's the guy I get my stuff from. Moose meat.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't do their research very well.
So yeah. Oh my Lord. So Cap, keep Mr. Gloves. Oh
wait, and worst of all, moose meat.
So Cap gets out of the van, gets him, throws him back in the van because it's John Jameson driving. See, Daddy was right. These guys are menaces. All right, so. But yeah, Moose Meat's yelling like Kid Gloves, you fingered me. No, it's the Punisher, man. What?
Whoa, phrasing, homie.
I know. So yeah, so Cap makes him this Moose Meat the same offer. Where do you get your supply? So then they get to Lower Manhattan. Cap jumps out, takes off his disguise. They're like, that's Captain America, not the Punisher. And John Jameson's like, yes, we're working together now. Yep. So Cap breaks in.
Something blows up.
Yeah, Cap breaks in the warehouse. There's only one kid there. He's like, my name's Napalm. On account, I know this trick, but I can only do it once. They flicks a switch.
Continued in 2 weeks, kids.
Yeah, sir. So yes, into 373. John Jameson sees the warehouse is blown up. He calls, oh look, Peggy Carter.
When in doubt.
At this point, the Avengers communication officer, she's like, which Avenger can I call in?
That's all women are good for, see?
Well, she was really old at this point.
Sure. She had little serums too, but we don't talk about it.
This is before she went to the Aunt May spa, man. I think she's pretty old at this point.
I won't allow it, but okay.
So yeah, she's looking, and she's like, "Which Avenger can I send out?" And hey, Black Widow's the closest. So, but she also calls Diamondback. Hey,
get ready for the clam fest.
Hey-o. She calls Diamondback. Your man was in an explosion. So yeah, Diamondback shows up talking to John Jameson. He's basically telling her what they were doing. But then Cap shows up.
Oh, that's why I brought up Bullseye.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Cap shows up alive, and lays a big kiss on Diamondback. She's basically like, whoa, he's never that forward.
You know, brushes with death will do that to some people.
Well, that and crack, but yeah. But yeah, Jameson says, how'd you get out? And he's like, the hard way. Because he saw the explosion coming. He leaps out the window, but didn't quite make it. The shockwave hit him and threw him into the next roof. That's where he woke up. So John's like, you wanted the paramedics to check you over? Not necessary. I feel bad. I've never felt better in my life.
I do like this page with the hard way. And I like that a lot.
What?
The shading's great.
Yeah. Like the flashback panels, yeah.
Yeah. I really like how they integrated it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's like covering like half his head, yeah. So yeah, they're leaving, and John's telling Cappy let those dealers go, and who's that clinging to a building with a big spider on her back? But meanwhile, we see the prison escapee gets to the Kingpin's office, where he's basically threatening his secretary to get him in there. Till Kingpin comes out and says, release her at once. So this man comes in and says, I want to be your big assassin again. He's like, what can I do for you? Get rid of that ridiculous looking woman skulking in the shadows. Who's Typhoid Mary? Can I tell you something, Mr. Fisk? Your taste in women is really going to the dogs.
Excuse me, rude.
This Mr. Poindexter.
Poindexter.
Isn't it obvious? I want to be your number.
Get to the point.
I want to be your number one boy again.
Whoa.
It must be something for a man of my talents to do. There is. I want you to get some dental work and some presentable clothes. Then we'll talk. So he walks out. Typhoid Mare. What will you do with him? I'll think of something. And back at Avengers headquarters, Cap's taking a shower.
Look at that jaw, guys. Look at that jaw.
But yeah, once they keep working on this drug thing, Fabian's been accepted to a rehab.
But what's this? The Fisk building that night?
Later on 164. What? Oh, the Fisk building, yes. After another attack.
It fits like a glove. I bet it does.
Oh, after another attack on a drug den. Yes, we see Poindexter returned in his costume identity of Bullseye.
He tried
it. But Kingpin tells him he wants him to investigate. Someone's blowing up his crack houses and
in Harlem. I'll let that hang in the air for you guys.
It's cheap real estate. Come on.
Not anymore, thanks to Bill Clinton. But that's another story for another day.
George H.W.
No, actually, when he got out of office, he moved his offices to Harlem, and actually did drive up the real estate prices there.
Yeah. But yeah, the cops even found drugs in some of these places, but the drugs weren't the Kingpins. Oh my lord!
Convenient.
And Bullseye. Who do I look like?
You gotta keep your layers in the drug gang. You gotta keep your layers. You gotta stay away from everything, the money and the dope. Yeah.
Yep.
Plausible deniability.
Bullseye. Who do I look like? Columbo?
No, you don't, sir.
Oh my lord! And then he's walking out of the building, and he's just like, "Fat man must be trying to bust my chops with this. If he doesn't have 10 private dicks on the payroll,
I'm here for dick." Not 10 of them. That's too much. That's definitely a sausage fest. Nobody tell Rob.
And then, he's being watched by the Black Widow.
More like the Grey Widow, but sure. We'll...
I know that's suit, huh? That painted on suit is
that
just...
looks like a Catwoman suit. # fight me. I don't.
That's like all she wore in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. The brown recluse at this point. That's not a Black Widow suit.
So then we see Captain Diamondback just staking out the scene of the explosion.
Oh god, that sky cycle is just killing me, bro. It's just...
Oh yeah, because John Jameson calls in. He sees some movement in there, so yeah, Cap takes off in the sky cycle and then just like, Diamondback, take over. She's like, what? You never showed me how to drive this thing.
I'm getting off here. Later, sucker. See you later, bunkie.
Yeah, because he just jumps off the cycle into the blown up building.
See you later, bunkie.
And then, yeah, Diamondback's trying to figure out how to...
Hey, what the is wrong with him?
Diamondback's trying to figure out how to fly this thing when the Black Widow shows up. This is Captain America's vehicle. What have you done with him? So, of course, fight.
Cat fight. Well, snake fight.
Spider snake fight, yes. So, yes, Cap goes in the building and, there's Bullseye sneaking around. And Widow and Diamondback are fighting some more. And, they're about to crash into the river.
This is a pretty good fight for two chicks. In 1990, I'm just saying.
Yeah, man. But yeah, they're going at it till they crash into the river. But then this issue ends with, Bullseye's just whipping shovels and flashlights at Captain America.
Now that's a cat fight.
So yes.
Continue in 2 weeks.
And Captain America 374. Look at that cover.
That is a nice cover.
So yeah, Bullseye's blinding Cap with the flashlight. Then he hits him in the thigh with a shovel, right where he just happenstance where he was shot in the leg in Captain America 362.
Right on the money, or Bullseye.
Jeez.
Fall it out.
Suck it, Kona. Suck it, Kona.
Suck it, Kona.
So yeah.
I can't because I love.
I know. But Bullseye's just throwing stuff. He's like, man, if I just get him to drop that overgrown hubcap.
Good luck. That's like surgically attached.
I know. Well, I mean, if somebody's throwing shovels and stuff at you, man, I want a shield.
Like he's doing the classic turtle too.
Turtle. But then
I do like that they incorporated that into the movies where he like jumps behind it like a little turtle.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
But then back in the Hudson River, Diamondback gets to the surface. Hey, the Sky Cycle pops up and she takes off. Then we see the Black Widow come up for air.
Well, that is a thing. Black Widow is always somewhere swimming. I don't know what it is. That is like a recurring Black Widow thing. She's always like getting thrown off of boats or dodging explosions by jumping into large bodies of water. It's a thing.
It's not spy stuff.
I think it's more of a spy espionage trope than anything.
Yes. But then back to the Cap and Bullseye.
Look at that wet Diamondback on the Sky Cycle. That's a nice parting shot, eh?
See, and you said you don't like Captain America issues.
I mean, not things that solidly focus on him, obviously.
Yeah, true. But see,
look at Bullseye out here being a poor man's Wolverine.
Oh yeah, I know. With 3. What is that? It looks like 3 blades or something between his fingers.
It's like 3 toothpicks, if you ask me. But that would be ridiculous.
Oh no, it's something making noise against that shield. So Cap's like, okay, I just gotta deal with the pain from my leg, and then he's figured out who this is, so he charges him. He's like, all right, Bullseye, that's enough. Bull's like, oh, he knows who I am. But then he sees Diamondback coming back, so he jumps out the window. Oh my lord. It's the 90s, so of course he also has adamantium laced bones.
Like I said, a poor man's Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Cap jumps on the Sky Cycle. He's like, why is this thing all wet and smell like algae? And she's like, well, 1, you didn't tell me how to fly this thing. 2, the Black Widow jumped aboard and made us both crash. So she's like, what's she doing? I don't know. So,
looking for you, I guess.
Yeah.
You tell me. Like, this should have been a whole couple's fight, to be honest.
So Bullseye gets away, and then we see a drive-by shooting.
Look at these kids. Look at them. This is ridiculous.
Oh, look, the one who hotwires the car is called Hotwire. Get it?
Get it?
What are these?
Oh, I get it.
What are these, Transformers? G.I. Joes? Come on.
Should have been Hot Wheels. I'm just saying, but I guess it's trademarked.
And the guys the two are gonna shoot the guns are called Pod Shot and Rub Out.
Nobody tell Rob. Oh, I thought you were gonna do the phrasing button.
oh, that too. Rub Out. Well, did you see that Diamondback shot?
Exactly.
Phrasing.
10 minutes later.
Kingpin's all mad. Someone's killing his crack dealers.
Well, you know, you get rid of one and 3 more pop up. Everybody's hungry for that money. It'll be all right.
And then he's all mad that no one's heard from Bullseye yet. And then, Cap, Diamondback, John Jameson get back to Avengers headquarters. And Cap yells at Peggy.
Hey, guess what? This operation is not an Avengers affair. It's a personal mission.
Yes, he yells at Peggy for calling in Black Widow. And then later, Diamondback's talking to John Jameson saying there's something wrong with him. And he's like, you're talking about me behind my back? That's it. You're out of here. So
Hit the bricks, sweetheart.
So then John's walking around. He gives her his card. My private line.
I bet.
So then John comes back and they're all talking about the drug problem and it's all supply and demand, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't question me. If you aren't with me, then who the devil needs you?
Okay, what I don't get is that, so the DEA was founded in like 1973 and it's 1990, and they actually had some big cases in the news, if I recall right. So I don't know why we kind of need that caption. I know I'm being nitpicky, but
I mean, again, maybe, I know I was 12-year-old at this point. Maybe they're just like, some of these kids might not know what DEA means.
Okay, I guess.
Remember, because back in this point, they were still trying to write some. They thought some of their audience was kids.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm such a jaded millennial. I forgot. I'm sorry.
And look at this foreshadowing. Kingpin said devil. Now Cap said devil.
And Bullseye's here, so
something's coming, kids. So then Diamondback goes home and changes into her new outfit.
Her undercover costume. That's not gonna stick out.
I mean, it's basically just like different colors. There's a jacket and you're
trying to be Black Canary right now so hard. It's not even funny. It's not even funny.
Okay.
Only Black Canary wears a bolero. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Get back out on those streets, Laurel.
Exactly. Well, Sarah in this case.
Then we see Bullseye, I guess, interrogating people at an arcade.
I mean, just let the kids have their fun. Oh, look at this. 2 nights later, Midtown Manhattan. Who could it be?
It's Daredevil, just recently back in Manhattan after his whole big trip upstate. After Inferno.
As you do.
Mm-hmm. Well,
he's ripping the American flag, though, so...
And he's like...
Woo! Cap's gonna give him a stern talking to.
He's like, well, again, he had an encounter with Cap in Daredevil 283. Cap was acting funny.
As always. And guess what? It was on sale right then.
Mm-hmm. So then, we see Cap again, and he's talking about that little episode with Daredevil upstate. Can't go back to the Avengers. Maybe I can stay with Sam Wilson for a while.
Nah, son. You keep Sam out of this.
Nope, he's like, I bet that busybody Peggy Carter got to him too. So then you see the drug deal going down with some guy in a limousine. So, see, look how awesome is that, man? He just like throws the shield in that front tire and crashes that limousine.
It's an American Swiss Army knife. It's fine. It's the job done.
Basically, just threatens the guy and walks away.
Oh, poor car. Why'd you have to do that to the car?
And then the issue ends with...
Tell me that's not Black Canary's outfit, bro.
I know.
Tell me.
I know. I think that's your new profile picture. But yeah, then the issue ends with John Jameson coming to see Diamondback at the boutique she works at. And as
it couldn't be a flower shop because that's a little too on the nose. It's fine.
So yes, they're leaving and they're talking about Cap until they get caught in another drive-by. Diamondback trips John, so he doesn't get shot, but she gets shot in the back.
But guess what?
2 weeks.
Continued in 2 weeks.
Get it?
And don't worry about the battle stars. Somebody else is gonna cover that stuff. Don't worry.
Charlie Esser. In part 2 of this episode. And then so Cap 375, the devil you know. But yeah,
and that's not so bad.
We see Diamond get shot in the back again.
He's not good at his job, but who at Marvel is?
Diamond.
I said Daredevil's not good at his job either, so you know.
Well, he's like in the middle of a nervous breakdown, so.
As he always is.
Hey, he just came back
from getting his identity revealed for the 90th time.
No, it was after Inferno. It was after Typhoid Mary messed with him, and he had a literal encounter with Mephisto. Thank you.
Oh, well, that'll do it. That'll totally throw you over that.
Oh yeah. Good old Catholic boy. He was face to face with Mephisto. Come on.
Cap goes wild, and Daredevil's not happy about it. This cover is like ridiculous, but I love it.
I know.
I think this is the best cover out of this particular arc.
It is pretty good. I like this one and the last one, but yeah.
Poor Diamondback.
Well, she's alive because John Jameson's like, no blood, but I guess she was wearing Kevlar. But he's like, she didn't know she wasn't
gonna hurt.
I know, and he's like, she didn't know she wasn't gonna take one in the back of the head or something. He's like,
exactly.
He's like, I'm not gonna.
Plot point is convenient.
Boy, if John thought he was attracted to her before. Now you saved my life. But then 30 blocks uptown, Cap is looking for info in the rhythm room.
Yep, that's not coded language at all. Just come on, move along.
Room, not method, Lilith. But yeah, he's looking for a certain.
Hey, you know what they call people who use the rhythm method, don't you?
What? Parents. He's looking for Jerry Wiederman, also known as Jerkweed.
I bet. Yeah. Look at that outfit. I bet.
So which one of you dancing fools is him? And then he calls him chicken here, chicky bok bok bok, and they're like, even like, dude's going crazy. Until Jerkweed grabs him, holding a kid hostage, and tells him to drop his shield. Where do you want me to drop this? And Cap's just behind you, and he just like whips it between their heads. Jerkweed's like, ugh. Scum, I hate it when innocent life is threatened. You hear me? So he grabs Jerkweed and jumps out the window. Onto the Sky Cycle. And again, pulling an old school Batman, takes him high up above the city, holds him up with one arm.
Swear me!
I think my arm is getting tired. Don't drop me. Any particular reason? I'll do anything you say. That is a good reason. Okay.
Anything?
Oh, jeez. Okay, Captain Subtext, settle down. Then we see more drug dealers. Hey, Chucky, was we deaf or what? How many Cracker Jacks do you think we...
This is what happens when white people have access to MTV past a certain age demographic. I'm sorry. Don't at me.
I know the hip lingo. I watch the MTV. Don't make fun of poor Mr. Grunwald. He's not even around to defend himself anymore.
All right, fine. I'll let it slide this one time.
But then they get taken out by, looks like a bum throwing bottles at them. Glass bottles, a garbage can lid.
Is that Matches Malone? I feel like that's Matches Malone.
It's Bullseye.
I know, I'm just being funny.
So he makes the guy get in the car. I care about the money man. Who hires the management? You're going to do it. What you're going to do is make like a canary. Oh, see, they saw the black canary thing.
They knew what they were doing. Marvel always knows what it's doing.
Yes. But the next night in Little Italy, where the Kingpin and Typhoid Mary are having dinner, Cap shows up.
Like, rude.
He just like walks.
Trying to have a nice dinner.
Yeah, he just walks in. The bodyguards jump up. He's like, go ahead, boys, give me an excuse.
I mean, but like, shouldn't he be calling the president? Because didn't like a president declare the war on drugs? Couldn't he just call the White House?
He's high on ice, Lilith.
No clear thought process. I get it.
But yeah, Cap wants to.
And he's hungry apparently, so that's nice.
Well, yeah, he wants to sit down with Kingpin, so he grabs one of the bodyguards and just throws him to the floor. Guy's like, I think he dislocated my shoulder. So yeah, Cap's asking Kingpin about the whole drug war, and he's like, assuming a legitimate businessman as myself, knew what you were talking about. What makes you think this is some sort of intramural squabble? Wouldn't it occur to you that it's a turf war with outsiders encroaching? Cap, who might these outsiders be? Again, assuming I knew what you were talking about. Why would I tell the likes of you?
I love it.
Hypothetically asking for a friend.
If, however, you should learn the identity of said parties, I would be indebted to you. I love somehow the idea of the kingpin of crime owing me a favor doesn't sit well.
Exactly.
Then Typhoon.
But look who it is!
Oh yeah, after Cap leaves, Daredevil slowing down. Hey Cap, long time no see. Then we see John Jameson take care of Diamondback. Then we see Bullseye meeting up with this, finding one of these drug guys. And here's what you're here for. After another mention of Daredevil 283, Cap, Daredevil gets in Cap's face. Cap almost breaks his wrist.
Punch him! Get him, Matt!
Whoa, yeah. Then so Matt has to hit him before he breaks his wrist. So yeah, these two start fighting in a playground. But like I said,
That's so reminiscent of something.
What?
You know, the movie.
Oh yes.
Except this is an Elektra.
And there are not kids there going, yeah. Oh Lord, but see,
This is a pretty good fight sequence. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, because Matt tries to
It's like kind of close quarters, but I think that's what gives it like the gritty feel to it.
Oh yeah, inner city fight. Yeah, Matt uses his billy club to get rid of the shield, whips it away, and Cap's all paranoid, so he thinks, "Oh, it's the commission again, isn't it?" Remember our last couple episodes?
Remember?
No.
Oh, and good Lord.
But yeah, see,
The last person you want to see.
he mentions the underworld. Trip to Mephisto's realm.
Right on cue.
So yeah, Daredevil's not in best shape. So yeah, Cap takes him out and just leaves him on the ground where he gets found by Crossbones.
No. How about no?
Ah!
Just
You don't like the Mr. 90, you know. The 90s gave us Venom and Crossbones. Come on.
I mean, I like Venom.
I know.
There's nothing good I can say about Crossbones. I'm
Hello.
sorry.
And then we see, so that picks up in 376.
376? What now?
Looks to me like
I mean, this looks like a heck of a three-way. I'm just saying.
Oh my. Oh, the cover, yes.
I love how the very first page, hey, make sure you've read the last issue or you're going to be lost.
Yeah. Because, like, Crossbones is like, what do we have here? He doesn't even recognize Daredevil. He's like, what's this DD on your chest for? Devil Dog? Death Dodger? Danger Dude?
It's the best part of the issue. Hashtag fight.
And Matt's like, just the way he's treating an injured man doesn't make me think he's a nice guy. But yeah, Matt's so weak. Yeah, Crossbones just looks under his mask. He's like, I don't know who he is.
That's like the Justice League where Lex Luthor learns who Flash is. He's like, I don't know who this is.
I know. Handsome, ain't you? Weren't you in the April Playgirl? I'd be like, why are you reading Playgirl, Crossbones?
Don't judge him. Don't king shame him. Sexuality is a spectrum.
That's true. So yeah, Crossbones just takes off because he's got a job to do because he goes back to that Italian restaurant where the Kingpin was at and he tries to kill the Kingpin. Manages to take out some of the bodyguards, but between Kingpin diving behind a table and Typhoid Mary.
Okay, this is how you know Cap is off the deep end. Look at that scraggly 9 o'clock beard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because after Daredevil comes in,
his eyes are all bloodshot and big. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
coming down off that junk, ain't you, buddy?
Yeah, because Daredevil comes back in and fights Crossbones as Kingpin gets away, and then Cap's going all nuts in an alleyway.
Bro, favorite line in the whole arc. My star-spangled simpleton. And I'm like, yes! I should not be agreeing with the villain, but yes!
Oh, yeah, because he's hallucinating the Red Skull. Yeah. I'm Captain America. There's nothing wrong with me. Oh, sleep. That's all I really need. Haven't slept in days. Almost a week.
Oh, yeah, he's out of his mind.
So it's just the drugs, and he hasn't slept in a week. Yeah. Then we see Diamondback and John Jameson about to go out looking for Cap, and then Black Widow shows up.
Matching leather jackets, guys!
Oh my. But yeah, Black Widow shows up, and she said Peggy Carter filled her in, and she's going to help them hunt down Cap. And then back to the fight in Little Italy, Crossbones takes off, because might as well, the Kingpin's gone. Then he's like, wait a minute, maybe the boss won't be mad if I bring him Daredevil. But then Daredevil's gone. So Crossbones hears cops coming, he takes off, and we see Matt on the rooftop. This is the last we see of him in this issue. He's like, yeah, not feeling so great. Again, the whole Mephisto thing, and then they show him wandering off saying, I feel I forget. But yeah, follow him into Daredevil 284, where he eventually gets amnesia, because we all do.
As you do.
And Bullseye takes his costume and becomes an evil Daredevil until Matt gets his memory back, and they have a fight. 289 is pretty weird but awesome, because like they're fighting, but like Bullseye's wearing his costume and he's wearing Bullseye's costume.
Oh no, it's a face-off situation, guys!
Matt, I think it was like Matt's therapy, because they used like punch him, he's like, come on, Daredevil.
Oh yeah, we can't get into Matt's messed up head. Not at all. That's like a year's journey. That's like a Nightfall journey into the descent of Matt Murdock's mind.
It's like Witch Descent. There's been many.
So true.
But yeah, but meanwhile, Block's way in his limousine. The Kingpin's talking to Typhoid Mary, and he's trying to figure out who's trying to kill him. The Chameleon and Hammerhead? Because current issues of Spider-Man. You may rest assured that within 12 hours, I will know who this Crossbones is and who he works for. Bones, get it?
Oh, I get it. And you can get it too.
Hell!
I get it. Suck. Cap's like, gimme.
Oh my.
He's gonna check out schoolyard children for it too.
But Kingpin's like, yeah, bring in Bullseye, he was perfect for this job, and Typhoid's like, why? I'm his equal. And he's like, but he is expendable, dear Typhoid. You are not.
Oh, isn't that romantic?
Well, he's not going to sacrifice his booty call. So we see Crossbones in the park. He has to call the Red Skull and tell him he failed.
That's not what you want.
Meet me at the plaza tomorrow at 8 a.m. We'll discuss penance then. Penance?
He's knocking the crap out of Black Widow though. He's like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
this is a real fight.
Yeah, because they get a call. Cap's been spotted, and yeah, so Black Widow and Diamondback trying to take Cap down. Yeah, they're fighting until Black Widow gets a shot and gives him a point blank Widow blast to the head.
Finish him.
Diamondback's like, what if you gave him brain damage? I know my opponent. I know my weapon.
I mean, honestly, would it make a difference? I don't think so.
That's at Lilith Hellfire, people.
Fight me, Captain America nerds!
That's America's head.
Yeah, I guess.
Crazy. So yeah, the last page we see Crossbones is meeting with the Skull, and he's like, he hasn't said more than 2 words for me, man. I'm in for it. But then outside, look.
What the what?
Bullseye, because next week, or in 2 weeks.
Save your breath, Chunky!
Another second, and your boneheaded boss is going to be known as the Red Rug Stain.
Love it.
Yes, because next issue, Bullseye vs. Crossbones.
And a Cap book, something nobody wanted.
Cap needed a break. Come on. So yeah, 377. Yeah, we see picks right up. Bullseye crashes into this hotel room and right between the eyes shoots the Skull.
Well, that's rude.
I love Crossbones comes in. Crossbones comes in. Boss, not anymore. Yeah. So Crossbones is trying to take out Bullseye, and he's like, "Aren't we the hypocrite? It's all right for you to try to kill my employer, but not all right for me to kill yours." So yeah, they're just like firing back at each other, and then Bullseye's like, "My pop gun's out of ammo, chubs."
Oh dang.
Yeah, I know the big theory for a while was Crossbones was like, I don't know, like D-Man with amnesia or something.
I remember you and Charlie discussing that.
They turned out to be a nobody.
As you do, man. As you do.
Oh my lord! You know what his first name is though? Brock.
It's a clone. Hashtag deal with it.
So, yeah, Crossbones whips a table at him. Oh, gets his hands on Bullseye, starts choking him until, again, Bullseye with the tooth thing.
I know.
Must be his
You're
favorite.
running out of teeth there, buddy. You only have 30 left now.
But, I mean, Crossbones still keeps a hand on his throat until Bullseye stabs him in the
those are some big old hands, so...
But then he stabs him in the bicep with a sigh.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh, yeah. So, again, he jumps out another window.
I mean, this is like a legit Captain America ripoff, but it's fine.
And then Crossbones is like, oh, man, boss, I'm sorry. And then he sees, nope.
Use your crossbow, idiot!
The Red Skull was just a robot.
Cause 90s.
Because Doom was having a garage sale.
Cause 90s.
Hey, man. Hey. Seem pretty smart now. But back at Avengers headquarters, we see Cap's like all sedated and stuff.
I wanna be sedated.
Yeah, because the doctor's like, I got him under a strong sedative because at least part of his irrational behaviors stems from the fact he's been up for at least 4 days straight.
What about the drug in his system?
I'm waiting.
Ice.
I'm waiting.
Think of the children.
Oh Lord, but he's waiting for Pym. Oh God, why?
Oh God, this is only gonna make it worse. But whatever.
Why? What's Pym gonna do? Smack him around?
Exactly. That's all he knows how to do.
Oh.
Like he went to the Alfred School of fixing things.
Well, the doctor says, thanks to the super soldier serum, I don't know what I'm doing. So they all leave and let him sleep. See, this is why.
Wait, why does this panel look familiar?
Which panel?
The one where he's in the hospital.
Oh, yeah. But then we see Widow and Diamondback shaking hands and as equals.
I bet you enjoyed making her acquaintance.
Oh.
Yes, there's some sexual tension there. It's fine. We won't discuss it.
Oh, Lilith is jealous. She wants to be attacked by a hot ginger in skin-tight suit.
I mean, I've made my intentions clear to the universe, and I'm just waiting.
Dear Santa. Oh, Lord. But yeah, the Bullseye's all calling the Kingpin and saying...
I nailed him!
Oh! The red...
Kingpin, that is.
No, the Red Skull.
Nailed it.
The Red Skull was now the Dead Skull.
Oh, God. That's quality content that I come for. Don't you dare.
Anyway, so Kingpin tells Bullseye to lay low for a while, which he does in the pages of Daredevil, dressed as Daredevil, so. Get it? Well, so Typhoid's like, you think the Skull's really dead? You think Bullseye did it? Not on your life, Typhoid. Not on your life.
Well, at least he's not an idiot.
I know, because then we see the Red Skull flying into New York on a private plane. And then Cap's dreaming about when he got the super soldier serum. Yes, it is a drug. And then Professor Erikson turns into the Red Skull. So Cap just starts...
Your serum isn't a drug, is it? Duh, you dummy.
I'm more than a pumped
We
up...
took a 20-pound weakling and made him in... Come on, bro.
Pay attention, Lilith. I'm more than a pumped up super soldier. I'm a man who believes in something. I believe in freedom.
Are we sure?
I believe that everyone should be free to achieve their full potential, become the best person they can.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he really rips the room apart, and that's when, so if things weren't bad enough, here comes Hank Pym.
Have we tried smacking him around yet?
Lilith, here's my Hank Pym drop.
Accurate.
And he's like, I'm on drugs, Hank. I'm hallucinating. I need help. It's okay, big fella. Everyone needs help sometimes. That's what
friends are for.
That's what friends are for. And then we see the Red Skull visiting one of his drug factories. Oh, from the outside, it appears to be an ice cream factory. Ice factory, ice cream, get it? Oh.
Beat me to it. It's fine. I'll allow it.
So yes, they're talking about this whole thing, and then the Red Skull kills one of his people. Boss, was she? Not to my knowledge. She was, however, a bad accountant.
Oof. She's a woman. What do you expect? Hey-oh.
You don't cook the books for the Red Skull, man. Go on. I'm tiring of this turf war. I want to get the Kingpin on the telephone for me. Tell him I wish to negotiate face to face. I think we're short of face here. So then we see, Pym been looking over Cap's blood work. The other way we get the methamphetamine out of his system is the total blood transfusion, but that'll eliminate the super soldier serum.
Yeah, right.
And Pym's like, yeah, I know. Well, Pym's like, well, maybe once we get all his blood out of his body, maybe we can clean it and give it back to him. Sounds iffy. You're telling me to save Steve Rogers, we may have to kill Captain America.
I mean, if only.
How dare you?
Fight me, Captain America nerd.
But then the Kingpin and the Red Skull are going to meet at Yankee Stadium the next night. Man, the Red Sox beat the Yankees 26-2.
That's how you know it's fiction.
Ooh! Talk about your...
Oh, fight me, Boston. I don't care. Fight me.
Oh, Boston. Oh, I know who you're going after there.
Yeah, whatever. Ben Reilly, Spider-Man's clone. He's the guy. He's got a sweatshirt. Yeah, that's how you know he's different. And he's a blonde hair.
The cop hawk, right? Right, Kona? So while Kingpin's waiting for Red Skull, Cap's awake now because he slept 36 hours straight and got a total blood transfusion.
Slept like a baby. Best sleep of his life.
Oh, yeah, a sedative. Man, I wish I could sleep 36 hours. But, so he's getting out of bed, he's getting dressed because he wants to prove to himself that he can be Captain America even without the serum.
Not the best idea, buddy.
Well, I mean, now that the drugs have given him muscles, I mean, he still has the muscles.
You still got to maintain them.
I know, but it's only been a day and a half. It's not like he's going to lose all that complete muscle tone.
We'll see, guys.
Oh, look, Peggy's about to rat on him, and gives her the finger on the lips. No?
Like, what is going on with? I don't like Peggy in this story. It's bad. Like, chicks, man.
I'm telling you,
that's the vibe they're giving.
She's old in this story. She's like a retired. She was like with him in World War II, just like in the movie.
I don't like it.
But then, yes, the last page we see the Kingpin and Red Skull meeting at the stadium. Interesting that we should meet because they met in Acts of Vengeance, and now again, interesting that we should meet
Acts of Vengeance.
Interesting, we should meet
the gift that keeps on taking.
Yep, and then we see Cap on his sky cycle looking for trouble, which brings us to the last issue, 378.
Dun dun dun.
So Cap's just cruising around trying to figure out.
Trying to clear his head,
Trying to figure out
his head in the game.
It's been like 7 issues now. He's trying to figure out where he should go. And then we see Kingpin and Red Skull. You want me to buy you out? No. But yeah, Red Skull wants to. I believe America to be a weak, morally corrupt country whose societal underpinnings are going to be eaten away. It's my goal to speed up the process. Drugs is one means. But then he's like, you, Kingpin, are an American businessman. Has it ever occurred to you that you are aiding this destruction? No. I am making America stronger. Drugs at their highest degree only saturate society so far, corrupting the corruptible, preying upon the weak. How are we going to spin it, dude? An entrepreneur like yourself must be a gambling man, Kingpin. I propose a wager between us. I wager that I am able to best you in hand-to-hand combat because I'm in a Captain America clone body.
Anybody disappointed his whole body isn't red?
Oh, hey-oh.
Just, I don't know. Spiced it up a little bit.
I mean, that skull was just a skull. I mean, that dust of death burned his, like, skin off.
I know, I'm just saying, for the full aesthetic, like, he's not going all out like a good villain should.
Yes.
You know?
I know, but the wager, Skull says, if I win, my icebreakers will remain here in New York, and you will stay out of their way. If you should happen to best me, I will sell my ice operation to you at a modest price and leave the vices of this town entirely to you. He's like, when will this happen?
Interesting wager.
When will this happen? Right here, right now. No tricks, no weapons. The man who surrenders or can no longer fight loses. And Cap's just hanging in the air on his sky cycle, and he's like, wait a minute. The lights are still on at the Yankee Stadium? It's 2 a.m. That's late for a ball game, isn't it?
Mind your business, Captain.
So Kingpin and Red Skull are stripping down so they can be searched for weapons because they're going to fight in their underwear.
Turn your head and cough, sir.
Hey, they're fighting in their underwear. I love Kingpin. You're not going to remove your mask. It is no mask. It's my true visage. I will permit your men to touch it if you wish. I so wish.
Kinky.
But I love how he tricks him. He's like, gentlemen, please, because all their guys are surrounding him in a circle. Gentlemen, please back up. A duel with a fellow of the Kingpin's stature will undoubtedly require more space. Surprised he wasn't like, when Kingpin hangs around the stadium, who hangs around the stadium?
Quick, Thanos, snap twice.
Oh! But your mama's so big, Thanos had to snap twice. But yeah, Red Skull puts up a force shield.
Wait, quick question. Should I buy this Red Hood mask for $80? Yes or no?
Why, you can do Red Hood cosplay?
Maybe.
See how interested she is, people? She's cruising the internet while I'm
No, it just came up on my alert. I apologize. Because, Red Skull, Red Hood, you know me. I'm a DC girl.
All right, here's a plan. Buy it. When you get bored with it, you can send it to me.
Okay. Cool beans. Anyway, back to the story. I mean, honestly, I like the Red Skull and Kingpin thing. Everything else is just kind of like,
Yeah, because he had a device on the heel of his foot for this force bubble. So yeah, they're fighting.
Right? What a jerk.
You look surprisingly fit for a 70-year-old Nazi.
As you do, man.
But the oak does not flinch when bamboo is flung against it. I think you've eaten too many fortune cookies, fat man.
Ouch. Ouch.
I know, man. It's just one fat joke after another from the Skull, man. And then at Avengers headquarters, Diamondback finally discovers Cap's gone. The fight's still going on at the stadium, but Crossbones thinks he sees something, and he does, because he goes up in the stands. There's Cap. He's like, looks like I got the challenge I was looking for in spades. Wasn't able to get a definitive win against Crossbones last time. So these two are fighting in the stands. Smacks him with that shield. Across the face. But then Crossbones grabs the shield.
Wow.
And then, more Kingpin and Skull fight. I risk nausea every time my fist comes in contact with your clammy flesh. Who wrote this? Lilith? Lilith's dating life?
Right?
Lilith's dating life? Come on.
This is not subtext anymore.
So then Cap's trying to break the stalemate and recreate the cover. So he trips.
Nice call.
Basically trips Crossbones and just smashes him when he's down.
Take that!
We ain't in grade school anymore. Oh no, how would a grade school dropout like yourself know that?
Ooh, burn!
Yeah, Cap. Yeah, Cap.
Burn.
Oh Lord, and Skull thinks he's got the upper hand. Now Kingpin prepare to fall, and Kingpin grabs him and goes, "You wish me to fall? Excellent!" And he falls on the Skull.
That had to hurt, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. So Cap's like, "Oh, he's Crossbones got me cut off from my shield," and then Crossbones pulls out a knife.
Now that's a noise.
I ever show you my Ginsu knife? It slices, it dices, and Cap just kicks it out of his hand. It flies out of your hand. And then Crossbones swings and misses, and Cap sees the straps on the back of his mask, and he grabs those, and then he judo chop right to the throat. Judo chop.
Exactly.
I've done it. I've beaten him. I've beaten as rough a customer as any I've ever tangled with without the serum. I've proven it. I can be Captain America. Kingpin has the Kingpin has the skull down, and he's like, I can just bury my thumbs in your eye sockets, and he's like, admit defeat. All right, you win, you bloated pig.
Good enough.
Now give me one good reason not to kill you anyway. You'll never get out of this dome alive without me. Good enough reason. So Cap shows up, but then, yes, as the dome goes down, the Red Skull hops on a helicopter. The ice operation was pinning it anyway. I'm happy to get rid of it. I despise limiting my intellect to parochial concerns. I'll be in touch with the terms of our settlement. Count on it. Criminal. Cap's like, I could have thrown my shield at him, but that would have left me wide open for the Kingpin's goons. Oh, I love the Kingpin. Kingpin, what happened here? For reasons all his own, that Nazi foe of yours forced me into personal combat. I won. New York City owes me a debt of gratitude.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Spin that PR, baby. Spin it.
I'll see to it they make you a blimp in the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Burn.
So then Cap returns back to headquarters, and Hank Pym's like, we finally cleaned your blood. We can give it back to you. And he's like, I learned something. I don't need it because it's 1990. Now drugs are bad.
Okay. Have fun being Eddie Brock trying to maintain those muscles, homie.
Well, he don't have to wait too long because by 384 he discovers, I guess this, even if you completely give him a blood transfusion, the serum like regenerates itself.
Convenient.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's been in his bloodstream for at this point like 50 years.
It's 2 years. I get it.
Hey, 50 years. It's been soaking those cells. Come on.
It's like never changing the motor oil, the transmission fluid. You're gonna start breaking down there, buddy. You shouldn't have done that.
All right, so that is your Streets of Poison. What did you think, Lil?
I feel like it could have been a little more hard hitting. Like, I just feel like they didn't go there enough.
Yes.
Like, I mean, think about all the things that I was mentioning. Like, when Speedy got AIDS, when, they did the hard traveling heroes, because I do feel like Captain America is very out of touch with the so-called America he claims to defend. And that's kind of always been my problem. That whole man at a time. It's the same thing that Superman's kind of having problems with right now.
Well, I mean, Grunwald tried to fix that. I mean, that's when, throw under Grunwald, that's when Cap got that hotline and, people could call him and...
Ooh, side note, speaking of that hotline, so apparently they're doing Death in the Family, the animated movie, and you get to decide his fate, too. I was like, oh my god! Justice for Jason, please!
I know.
No cheaters!
Oh my lord, will history repeat itself or not? And did you see there's like...
I think it will for poops and giggles, honestly.
I guess there's a couple different outcomes. I guess in one they said he comes back as like Red Robin.
Oh, poor Tim. Can't have anything to himself.
No. Well, they've all had that identity. First it was Dixon Kingdom Come, then it went to Jason, then it went to Tim.
Know.
Waiting for Damien to put that.
But come on. Most people know Tim for it. Let's just be honest.
I know. All right. So I'm going to save all my plugs and stuff for when Charlie Esser and I wrap this up in part 2. Lilith, where can people find you?
If you nerds want to chastise me about my dislike for Captain America, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, or on Instagram with the cool kids and the hip grandparents at Lilith Hellfire 86 or at Lilith Hellfire 69. Hey-o! Pickle.
All right. So yeah, if you're on the YouTube, just wait. Scroll up probably one, yes, and part 2 will be there. But if you're listening on the podcast, just sit back and relax. For the sweet...
And let the boys work their magic.
For the sweet, silky tones of Mr. Charlie Esser. Hey, welcome back. Part 2. Like I said, this time it's me again, and you're going to get the silky, sultry tones of Mr. Charlie Esser.
The Professor.
That's right. So, so we got a little bit of a grab bag here. The first ones come from it's those same Streets of Poison issues, but it's the backup stories with Battlestar and U.S. Agent.
Yeah, and okay, so and this I'm just going to take these all. Yeah,
you can take it as one big
story,
thing. Yeah,
going from the stakeout to the triumphant reuniting.
Yes.
And I guess we're even going to get to the Scarecrow at the end.
Yeah, that's in 383. But we'll get that. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we can if you want, we can wait on that too. But there's just a lot going on here because there is just so this is where we get really the establishment of the new U.S. Agent arc, and I realized, fun fact, one of the later issues that we're going to read takes place after West Coast Avengers 69.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm reviewing for episode 169 of Capes and Lunatics as per the Mistress Hellfire. So, so that's interesting. But as it stands, so when we open this up, and again, remembering that comic books, this is taking place over several months, so it's actually like a 6-month time period for we, the readers, that it all takes place in, so it's weird how it does seem to jump around a bit, especially when you're reading it in a stream. But we start off with U.S. Agent as a member in good standing with the West Coast Avengers. Mm-hmm. We see that there's a mysterious figure stalking West Coast Avengers compound, and he's waiting for someone to show. Finally, he does see, on a rocket cycle, as you travel in those days, U.S. Agent coming in, and he confronts him, and it is, in fact, Battlestar.
Yep.
Longtime partner of John Walker. And it's interesting because they, of course, get into a fight. Because, not only just because he's, because essentially he is the U.S. agent, whomever he may be, is being very adamant with Battlestar that he is not the person he knows, John Walker. Mm-hmm. And, and really it sets him off when he tells him his parents are dead.
Oh, yeah. We know, but yeah, supposedly, yeah. U.S. agents, after his whole thing with as Cap, he was fake assassinated by the government so they could set him up as U.S. agent. But yeah,
yeah.
So he's.
Well, let me ask you this. Do we know this? Do we know that U.S. agent is John Walker?
Yeah, because he was fake assassinated in 351. That kind of looked real, but then in 354, I think it's that General Hayworth. Yeah, he calls together Val Cooper and everyone. It's like, oh, here's our new guy, U.S. agent, and they're like, oh, he's wearing Steve Rogers' old black costume. Then they're like, I forget who, but someone's like, wait a minute, that's Walker,
Well, but do they confirm it there? So remember when Jackpot showed up?
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, oh, it's Mary Jane. It's Mary Jane. No, just someone who looks exactly like her and sounds exactly like her. Which, to this extent, this person, who we will later find out is actually a gentleman named Jack Daniels, not John Walker. Cause,
I know.
Yeah, they're creative. Jack Daniels does not look like John Walker that much. He looks like him, but
the face is different.
Really.
Yeah, the face is different and stuff. But like you said, he's like, you could add plastic surgery or something.
Well, yeah, but he sounds different. He looks different, and to the point where, honestly, when you're reading this, there's almost a quality where you're like, do you just really want this to be John Walker, Lamar?
Yeah.
Is that really what this is? And they get into a fight, and eventually Iron Man... And that's actually a question I got to ask. Is that James Rhodes in the Iron Man costume?
No, that's Tony Stark, but this is after Armor Wars. So this is the point where he's telling everyone, oh, I'm not Tony Stark. I'm a new Iron Man. You remember?
Oh, okay.
If he's not supposed to know certain things, it's him trying to pretend he's not Tony Stark. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's just... Who falls for that anymore? Oh, are you Tony Stark's bodyguard? Huh? Is that what you are? You're his bodyguard? Yeah. I would rather it was James Rhodes, but anyway.
Yeah, I know.
As it plays out, I believe it's James Rhodes, or I believe it's Iron Man, and was it Hawkeye who shows up?
Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. Oh, yeah, you don't want to mess with Wonder Man. So Iron Man and Wonder Man show up and basically tell Lamar to step off, and Tristan's going to have a banana.
Mm-hmm.
And so he does, and then I love the Battlestar Mobile.
Yes.
And I gotta love that the government gave him a battle. Like, I guess he's like, I don't know who's in charge of the Battlestar program, but he seems to have definitely gone off radar. He's not like on assignment with anyone, and he's got his own tricked out Battlestar Mobile. So
that's what I was gonna say. Is he still on the payroll, or is he just like a free agent now?
That's a good question. Well, I think he's like on reserve.
Maybe.
Reserve hero duty. They're not, basically the commission doesn't have a use for him right now.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
And they're kind of focusing on Walker because really he was the Bucky. He was along for the ride, and they created him a new idea and said, well, you know what, keep him. We may need a Battlestar later. I don't know.
Yeah, and they definitely don't want to pair him up with U.S. Agent because they don't want people to know that was John Walker. Yeah,
exactly. So they've got this extra. So I'm assuming he may actually be getting a check, and he probably is on call, but no one's calling him. That's why he's got the time to go track down John Walker in his own way.
Yeah, and
then he calls his brother, who I believe was Leroy.
I think it was Leon.
Leon, Lamar and Leon. Oh, and he tells them that Ethan Thurm.
Yeah,
Ethan Thurm, legendary Skrull, Ethan Thurm.
Because he always changed. Yeah, he always looks different. But yeah,
every single time. It wasn't that long ago. He was fat with red hair and a mustache. Now he's skinny again with black hair and a blue suit, and then like in the suit I can understand, although the style changes dramatically too each time. So it is a little weird.
Yeah, no derby hat. Yeah. I just wonder if like Grunwald didn't give anyone any like specifics, so all the artists just like drew Thurm however they wanted. Because I mean, this is a different art. This is Mark Grunwald, one of my Mark Bagley, one of my favorite artists. I mean, it's different than who was the guy drawing all those Cap issues. So,
well, I understand that, but still,
I know.
It's a character design.
I know.
It's like, I'm going to put Nick Fury's eye patch on the other side. I'm going to take away the gray streaks in his hair. It looks too much like he's, infected by parallax. All that kind of stuff. That it just doesn't really. You got to have a consistency to your character design. You should know, is this character fat or thin? And I granted, I know that, Fabian over in the Avengers, he has that weight fluctuation a lot, though that was because of the meth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
we all remember.
Yeah, but Ethan says, "Oh, it's a matter of national security," and Lamar gets her like, "What is it?" He's like, "Someone threatened me." He's like, "Wait a minute."
Yes, because he's a national treasure, and freaking Nicolas Cage is after him. And he has bees, so,
And they get attacked.
It's important. But as it turns out, this actually is a big deal because we get the power tools.
Yeah.
Lazy writing.
Guys just like with either hammers or buzzsaws on their hands.
Here's what I'll say. I won't call it lazy writing. It was very much in the line of unlimited class wrestling characters and supervillains that you would just, it's like the Wrecking Crew.
Yes.
But it's like, what if we had like a really cheap knockoff Wrecking Crew and they had like screwdrivers and it's also a little weird with the hammer fists because at one point it looks like his fists are hammers and then later you see that he has free hands too. So
yes,
that's a little weird. But anyway, so and basically Lamar, better fighter, handles himself with these three guys fairly well, but also. He tells Ethan to run, and he doesn't.
No.
And then Hammer Hands sort of gets him in the headlock, and they sort of take Lamar hostage. They put him in an elevator, which is actually a gas chamber, and they knock him out. Bum, bum, bum. Then he wakes up in, like, the adamantium restraints, man, they got a lot of adamantium laying around in this
I
city.
know.
It's like, and we find out what the whole deal is, which is, well, first off, we meet the Red Zeppelin, of course.
Yeah, because someone's captured a bunch of unlimited class wrestlers.
Yeah, they've captured a bunch of the unlimited class wrestlers, and they make it's okay. They make the point, when they bring in Battlestar, like, look, this guy isn't, good old Malice is back, and he's in a wheelchair.
Yes.
I don't remember when he got in a wheelchair.
There was a backup story between what we read and this. It was basically Vagabond and I forget, Malice and the Power Broker. Well, I think they tried to offer her strength. They wanted her to work for them or something. I don't think they even knew she was Vagabond, but yeah, they kind of tried to double cross her, and she kind of double crossed them. Yeah, that's where the Power Broker got over augmented, and yeah, Malice is in a wheelchair. Yes. Yes,
and Malice is in a wheelchair, and he's got his little Dr. Scott, blanket on his lap. So who knows what he's wearing underneath it? But
yeah, that's why they captured all these guys. So they, Malice is trying to
perform the de-augmentation.
Yes,
and this is like, man, this is a really dark story once that gets revealed, because basically the whole de-augmentation process is messed up.
Oh yeah.
It is, it's like destroying their bodies. Red Zeppelin says, my bones are rubber, we don't have, there's nothing we can do. And it's amazing that it was so easily reversible. I'll be honest with you. That, I think, is the most shocking aspect of it. Once, but we'll get to that in a minute. Because
well, I mean, he could do it, but he couldn't do it well. That's why they're using all these guinea pigs, before they tries it on the Power Broker. Remember that first story?
No. What I'm talking about is
just
at the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of it. Because, of course, so what happens is, Lamar has to fight Power Broker. Yeah.
They de-augment him, and it actually, works. He's weak, but it works, yeah.
Yeah, it works. It works properly. He gets that whole, every, 40 issues of Cap where they de-augment him. And then he's got to remember that he's still a fighter, and he can do this all day. So that's, but, and they give him the big baggy clothes because, apparently he wasn't 6'6" beforehand, I guess,
Yes.
But anyway, so but they de-augment him, and at first he's like, I'm too weak to move, but then he gets his strength back because the thing is, if he was too weak to move, it really wouldn't have been a successful de-augmentation.
Yes.
Which is the thing. He actually would have to be completely functional for the de-augmentation to really work. And then, he manages to get out and eventually capture Malice, and because that's how he gets the other guys to back off. And then, who should arrive but Jack Daniels himself, superhero extraordinaire,
the U.S. agent,
the U.S. agent to pull Lamar's bacon out of the fire.
Yep.
And it's exciting. It's you get the real wild berserker Cap, which is not cool on a lot of levels. I gotta be honest with you.
I mean, Walker is outnumbered by all these guys are strength augmented like him too, though.
Yeah, and but he is just wiping the floor with them because he is still the U.S. agent, and because I'm U.S. agent, and he is beating the heck out of them. As then Lamar has to fight the Power Broker.
Yep.
Who is basically, he's like, I'm superhuman, except he's not really, because he's actually too muscle bound to move.
Well, yeah, he has to use an exoskeleton to actually move, and Lamar's like, wait a minute, I see he's moving this whole thing with, there's like a tongue box there, so he just
he's got a little mouth box.
Yeah.
Which, how he got it back in his mouth, I don't even know. So, but, so he is able to knock it out, and then, gets helped by John Walker when he eventually gets back there. He gets re-augmented.
Well, because he threatens to destroy the machine because he's like, the Power Broker. He's like, you need this. He's like, I can live without my muscles.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then,
sorry.
then the Power Broker's like, what do you want? What do you want? And that's when the U.S. agent walks in. He's like, he wants his muscles back.
Yeah.
And you're going to do it.
give him his muscle back, and then we're gonna fix everybody else. And then the Power Broker's like, please, de-augment me. And then they don't, if I recall correctly. They smash the machine and arrest them.
Oh yeah, because they bring everyone else who they de-augmented back normal, and then there's like, Power Broker's like, please, come on, just do me. And it's U.S. Agent. Oh, we'd like to, but there's been an equipment malfunction. He's like, no, you wouldn't. And John Walker just like throws his shield through it.
Yeah, well, because he's not someone to be messed with. I mean, it would have been nice to de-augment him, if nothing else. But just because then also it'd be easier to arrest him then. And I assume they are arrested after this, correct? Are they taken into custody by anyone?
They don't show it, but I would assume.
I have to hope. I hope that they don't just leave them. Okay, now best behaviors, you two. Don't go re-kidnapping a bunch of superheroes. Gods. But they do have, and then on the ride home, Walker and Daniels and Lamar have a heart-to-heart where he basically tells him that he is Jack Daniels, not Lamar. But then he eventually breaks him down and explains to him that I had to do this, and this is what I had to do. And my parents aren't dead. I write to them every day.
Yeah, he's like, I had to ask you. He's like, the one thing, though, is like, why did you say my parents are dead? They're not dead.
Yes. And he's like, And then he takes him to the graveyard, and that is the end of this arc.
First he's like, Lamar's like, they are dead. He's like, what? He's like, well, if they're alive, where are they at? And he's like, his U.S. agent's like, I don't know. They're in witness protection. And that's when Lamar's like, well, here, let me go visit your sister, and I'll ask her. And they go. Lamar goes to the sister because John's supposed to be dead. Yeah, and she tells him where the graveyard's at. Yeah.
Yep, and it's sad. It really is.
Yeah.
Because they mess with his mind, man.
Yeah.
Which we get in the next arc.
Well, yeah. I mean, we weren't going to cover that, but yeah, he goes to the general, who's behind the whole thing, and it's like, give me my memories back, and supposedly they give him his whole memories back, but like you said, they mess with his memory to make it seem like he asked for that, but he didn't ask for his parents.
Don't trust the government when they're rewriting your memories. So you're going to put my brain back the way you found it, right? Absolutely. It's sort of,
You asked for us to mess with you.
Yes. Oh, goodness. But, Okay, so that was that arc. So what's the next story you want to talk about?
All right, the one from 383, the Scarecrow thing.
Okay. Well, see, but the Scarecrow does tie into that.
Yes.
Because there is this whole arc. That's the thing, because we get in the previous story the secret origin of John Walker that we already knew, but we get like a little more depth. What his relationship with Hector and the other guy was. I'm getting the other guy's name now for some reason. Jerome, Hector and Jerome, about how it all goes badly, and the essential death of Hector and Jerome. And after he gets his mind back, he goes to seek after. Well, so this takes place after, I guess that was that at West Coast Avengers?
Yeah, I think it was like 60 or 61. Yeah, like they're fighting.
Actually, it might have been one of the 69s.
No, 69 was him versus Hawkeye.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, because it was one of Mortis versus.
Because that's the one. That's what 69 is like, where he gets voted out. Remember?
Okay, yeah, that's right. So it must have been an Avengers, or that I had downloaded. That was a 69, which was a Mortis versus Kang. But anyway, because they had him fight the Legion of the Unliving.
Yeah, and supposedly, Hector and Jerome were there, and he's like, "Oh, it must be a mistake. There were some probably in a coma or something."
Yes, and because again, memories aren't what they used to be. And then we get what is really the darkest and most tragic story I think you're ever going to get in a comic book that is rated E for everybody, where basically once he goes to confront the doctors where he was taken, the doctor's like, yeah, I'll tell you about it. And then just in gruesome detail explains what happened to Jerome and Hector, what happened to their bodies, their eyes were burnt out, they lost their ears, they had to have laryngotomies, and they basically laid there in constant pain. They couldn't do anything for themselves. Yeah, it's just that despite being superhumanly strong, they would never be able to care for themselves or even live a normal life, that even if their skin did heal, they would be horribly disfigured for the rest of their lives. And then they essentially took their own lives.
Oh, yeah, because I think the strength was their curse, because if they didn't have that augmented strength, they probably would have died.
Well, exactly.
Right away.
Know?
Yeah.
And that's, and, you know, and in this whole thing, and it just, honestly, it's so, John Walker going through his mental gymnastics in this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you know, I just wanted you to suffer, and if you felt that pain, well, I guess you got that suffering that I was living with. And then, as it really starts to play out, he's like, but you really didn't, you know, I didn't intend to have that happen. You probably didn't intend to get my parents killed. And he's just totally, man is a nut.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
just be honest.
Well, I'm just like, I know he was kind of like insane at that point, but it's, what did you think was going to happen when you tied them to that oil tank and just, you know, set it on fire?
Yeah. Well, and he also says that he went back and pulled them out. You know, if I could walk into the flames and bring it out, then you would have been okay. But honestly, but yeah, I mean, this is dark. 'Cause, I mean, he literally digs up Hector, and they show him like, you know, checking the dead body. Yeah, he pulls out the dead body, and you know, yeah, he's having a hard time adjusting to it. It is a lot more than he had bargained for, and that's at once it's, you know, sorrow in its beauty. It's him dealing with the fact that, yeah, he has committed this crime and he doesn't know how to make it right, and he like goes and he's wandering, you know, trying to figure out his mind, and he comes to this scarecrow, a straw man, if you will, in a cornfield. And he's just like having this whole existential crisis of faith, you know. It's like, you know, God's supposed to come to you in your hour of need, so here's my need. You'll give me something give me a hallucination.
Yeah, he's like, supposedly you speak to my sister, but you know.
And, you know, but he actually really lays it down for himself. He's like, you know, I'm too faithless to have a miracle, and I'm not imaginative enough to hallucinate. So, you know, it's like, and it's just that feeling of absolute loneliness, and then he sees the lighter, this must be a sign from God that I should set myself on fire so that I can feel the pain they felt. Which, first of all, I don't think a lighter is going to do to you what an exploding oil tanker did to them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not going to work, Johnny, but okay. But, of course, the lighter, because it was, you know, a lighter that's been sitting in the middle of a cornfield for, like, you know, 20 years, it doesn't work. I
was going to say, and do you think it's going to be sitting there if it was actual, you know, someone probably just threw it out. It don't work.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, you know. I mean, it could have been dropped there, like, but
true.
Again, like I said, it was underneath stuff, so it's obviously got dropped there years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it wasn't like it was just dropped on top of something today.
Then he's all surprised it doesn't work, yeah.
Yes, but then he's like, well, you know, so is that the sign that I'm not supposed to do it? And, of course, as it turns out, he gets no answers, you know? And that's what happens when you have an existential crisis, because you did something horrific to people.
Oh, yeah. And
can't deal with the guilt of it because you didn't think of the consequences. You didn't think of the consequences, Jonathan. Jonathan Walker. Jack Daniels. It's just kind of silly, but yeah. So that's that. Yeah, it's kind of sad, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any good story. I don't think that's the thing. All of the John Walker stories we're getting, it is so much that John Walker is just an unlikable person.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if Grunwald's just trying to, like, illustrate that it's like, you know, not everyone is Steve Rogers, you know, just because you get the suit and the shield don't mean you're going to be Steve Rogers. Yeah,
I mean, and I kind of feel that there's maybe sort of that, who was the Green Lantern with the bowl cut?
Oh, Guy Gardner.
Yeah, there's sort of this Guy Gardnering of it.
Yeah.
But I also think that, because first off, of course, you know, yes, he was intended to be the bad Captain America. You know, it was intended to, he got picked because the Red Skull knew he would disgrace Captain America. But even still, he just seems like, you know, they say he was on drugs. Even he says, well, I was on drugs then, right? And like, you know, so I couldn't have been in my own mind. You shouldn't have listened to me if I said do that. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you were on drugs. That's what it is. What's your excuse now?
But I do like this story, too, just because, it's Grunwald basically like, oh, you guys, you're like your 90s grim and gritty superheroes. But here's what happens when, these guys, like,
oh, yeah,
blow people up or,
Oh, yeah. And it's a great, honestly, it is a great dose of reality.
Oh, yeah.
That I don't think you often get in these kinds of stories.
Especially not at this point in comics now.
Yeah, this was like, oh yeah, you think it's cool when he had the big explosion and everyone walked away. But then again, it's the sort of thing, like you always assume, oh, well, they're superhumans, so they would have just, people walk out of explosions all the time.
Yeah, they were laid up for 6 months, but then they were fine. Yeah, no.
Healing factors, and then just to really suggest that there is consequences and damages to being a superhero is really, really powerful stuff. And honestly, if you haven't read it, I highly recommend people go out there, read it. You can find it on the Marvel Unlimited app. You can probably find it in the long box at your local store. And these are good issues. These are very good issues.
Oh yeah.
Especially this story of John Walker's, because everything else with John Walker, it's neat and it's good and it's a good setup story. I still love Battlestar. I still want more to be happening with Battlestar.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like Battlestar was like, he wasn't, because he was never really the crazy guy.
Exactly.
Although you can argue that his entire time with the Bucks, that was just weird and crazy, and the whole anti-immigrant thing just did not make sense to me with Lamar at all.
I mean, you could say he's better than John Walker, because John Walker, it took him how many times and how many events to just like get through his head. Once Lamar got his education, he was just like, oh, I mean, they never come out and say it, but I kind of get that after he gets like his GED and everything, and he's out there working for a while. He's like, oh my God, what was I doing?
Yeah, well, and stupid young kids, and that was also characters created by Ethan Thrum, the Skrull,
yes,
who is definitely evil. There we go. That's who the character is in Spider-Man right now. It's Ethan Thrum.
God.
It's some demon. I don't know. Also explains why his face changes. The whole mustache issue is a big deal for me, that he has the big mustache.
Yes.
And then they just get rid of it. And it's like, and granted, yes, I know you can shave a mustache, but it's such a dramatic choice to make for the character.
Mm-hmm.
And then just to go off on that. And speaking of mustaches,
oh,
do you
yes.
want to talk about our which is actually, interesting enough, Cap's first real one in with the Watchdogs.
Yes, Captain America 3D5 and 3D6. And the first one, I guess the Watchdogs have finally made it to New York.
Yes, and they're blowing up. It's weird because it's one of these things where I guess they're finally in New York, but they also seem to be really well entrenched. They've got a ski lodge with a re-education camp. It's like, really, here's what I'm going to say. Clearly, someone was funding these people because they have really fancy costumes.
Well, wasn't it stated in 350 that was the Red Skull funding?
Well, yeah, exactly. But you would think this would be a bigger concern for them.
Oh, yeah.
When you realize, oh, yeah, these guys, granted, maybe you don't see that cultural moral crusade storyline as that overwhelming of a threat. But then again, now they're kidnapping people, and they're firebombing buildings, and letting people die in them because the night watchman passed out drunk in a supply closet, which is a whole other thing. And we do see another glorious mustache of Mike.
Yeah, because he was one of Steve Rogers' old neighbors, yeah.
Yes. Oh, he was one of Steve Rogers' old neighbors.
Yeah, it was like back in like the 200s and issues and stuff. Yeah, like back when he lived in that apartment building. That's where he met Bernie Rosenthal. Yeah.
Well, because they had also mentioned that, because I thought they had mentioned that Bernie and Mike had been in college together.
Yeah, I guess they had been in college together, but then they were all living in that apartment building Steve Rogers had been living in. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the one that was managed by the Holocaust survivor.
Yes.
Or
yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, oh, and I love seeing Peggy in this.
Yes.
90s Peggy, still hot mom Peggy, but not not senile dead Peggy that we would later get now.
Yeah, and she wasn't like a super spy. She was like the Avengers communications officer or whatever.
Yeah, well, they have definitely changed the history since the movie, but that's okay. I can live with it.
Well, sliding time too. I mean, before she was Sharon's sister. Now she was the aunt.
Now she's great Aunt Peggy. Yes, and a great aunt she was. But man, and again, talk about girl in every port.
Oh yeah, because a few issues before, Bernie finally, she's done with school now. She's trying to get back in Steve's life, but he's dating Diamondback.
Yes, and although Diamondback's kind of on the run too, so it's sort of like but it is just this idea that Cap is like into Diamondback, but at the same time Diamondback is otherwise occupied. So it's an interesting little dynamic they got going on there, to say the least.
Yeah, because the Serpent Society put Diamondback on trial because they're like, "Oh, you're dating Captain America."
They're criminals. Is it against the rules to date?
I would.
Aren't they? Don't they have not have rules? Isn't that kind of the idea?
Well, one of those issues they have they're on trial, and I forget one of them's like, well, how even if we were cool with that, how we know you're not gonna talk in your sleep or something? Yeah,
but still, then then you just say, yeah, we can't work with you if you're going to be dating a cop. We can't work with you. It's like, I don't know what the real trial is here.
I think they were just worried that she knew too many of their secrets.
Yeah, well, that's true too. So I guess in that case, just kill her or something. I don't know.
That's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted to do.
Which is what they do.
Have we tried killing her yet? Yes, that's what they wanted, Charlie.
Anyway, yes, that goes into the whole Modam and Superior arc.
Yes.
And then we get Free Spirit, I believe.
Yeah, after 400, but yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, but right now, we got to deal with the fact that Bernie's sniffing around Steve, and Steve leaves the picture of his Kirk. Because again, Steve not going to confront her, because, for what it's worth, Steve, maybe wants to keep the door open, in case.
But again, too, I don't think she's actively come out and said, "Oh, hey, I want to go out with you again." I think she basically just keeps showing up. I'm like, "Oh, hey, want to hang out?"
Yeah, it Cap's trying. What the problem is? Cap doesn't just want to be friends. Cap is just a horn dog, and if he's not doing you, he doesn't want to be your friend.
Well, remember too. They were engaged, and then she was just like, no, let's not do that. I'm going to college."
Yeah, which is fine. So
I'm just saying. I think he was hurt, so I think maybe
okay.
I don't think Steve Rogers would ever admit it to himself, and maybe he's just feeling okay. Yeah, hey, good. Look at me. I moved on.
Yes, but then he should just state, I've kind of moved on. Of course, then that gets into the whole complexity of that relationship. Oh, really? So where is this alleged girlfriend of you? Of yours, Canada. It doesn't work. She's staying at Paladin's apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but
no, Bernie leaves.
So essentially,
yeah, I was gonna say no. Bernie leaves and talks to Mike, and he basically confesses to her because like you said, the whole Night Watchman thing, dying when they torched that hip hop record label.
And I get the feeling. So he's a fireman, and he's setting fires. Which is. See, that should have been his first clue that I shouldn't be here.
The Matt Murdock conundrum.
Yeah, well, to be fair, because he's a defense attorney, and then he goes beats up criminals, yeah. Although, technically, those are two separate things. It's not like he would get them off and then beat them up just to beat them up.
Yeah, but I think the whole thing with Matt Murdock, it's as a lawyer, he takes an oath to uphold the law, but then he's, out there dispensing vigilante justice.
Although there was a supervillain or superhero, or actually an anti-hero from the 40s called the Laughing Mask, who that was essentially his MO. He was a prosecutor. He would intentionally tank the case so the guy would walk free and then he'd go kill them. So, for those who don't remember, comics used to be way darker and grittier.
And oh hey, look, remember when Rage and Sandman were reserve Avengers?
Yeah, that was before they found out Rage was 13, and Sandman decided, I'd rather just have Jules.
Well, no, I mean, I think it was like in '99 or something. There was like a Spider-Man issue. No, the wizard gets a hold of Sandman. It's like, oh no, I miss my friend, and he throws him in a magic contraption because I guess someone wanted Sandman to be evil again, and he's like, no, let me put your brain right again.
That's what it was.
It was the wizard.
Okay.
Yeah, your buddy the wizard.
Oh, the wizard. He missed his friends. You guys, we haven't hung out in so long.
Let me throw you in the retcon machine.
Yes, yeah. Well, I also like the fact that he basically decided to stop being a bad guy because Ben Grimm and him had a beer once. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, to be honest, I gotta think that that's not going to hold anyway.
Well, I think it was that, but plus right before he met Ben Grimm, like him and Hydra Man got mixed up into this like weird creature like thing, and then
it's a hard life.
That messed with him. It was just like,
so Sandman is an Avenger.
Yes,
he probably still has some kind of like Avengers card somewhere that he can pull out if he needs to. Because Steve would always give him a second chance.
Yeah. But yeah, so oh yeah,
but yeah, so that was good, and and Rage is being a whiny teenager. So how am I supposed to do the evasive maneuver if he has the sand in my eyes? Like if you know the maneuver, you should be able to do it
with your eyes closed.
And and to be fair, do you think the actual supervillain isn't going to throw sand in your eyes?
Exactly.
Trust me, it's like you're lucky you actually know what this guy's power set is. The next guy, you're not going to know what they can do or how they're going to approach you, so you have to be ready to make these kind of moves.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to recall what. So then,
well, Bernie calls Steve, and then yeah, he heads for Mike's apartment where the watchdogs are like looking to kill him, but he's not there.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, they're looking to get Mike because they think he's blabbing, and it's actually interesting because it's all a lot of no one actually does anything they didn't say they were going to do. Well, actually, Mike does blab, so the watchdogs are right. The Mike is the blabbermouth, but Bernie doesn't call the cops; she calls Cap because they want to do it more delicately, and then basically the watchdogs kidnap Bernie. Because they
get out of there, yeah. Because
and that classic, I'll shoot the hostage, which, as we all know, that was one thing you got to say for U.S. Agent. He wouldn't care. It's like, well, then you don't have a hostage, do you?
Yeah.
Which is an interesting take to take on it. It's like, well, if you shoot the hostage, then I am justified in killing you. So why don't you let the hostage go and surrender, and that way you don't get a murder rap too. But anyway, be nice if they got a little more psychological like that.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, but they managed to get away, and Cap has to defuse the bomb, and Cap is getting way too sweaty when he's defusing that bomb.
Well, he's like, when it comes to bomb making, amateurs can be, more dangerous than guys who actually know what they're doing. He's like, hopefully these guys aren't complete idiots. Yeah. But like I said,
it just seemed a little weird.
Yeah.
Oh, and was this the issue where we get the medical examination which says, as it turns out, your super soldier serum is completely back? Or was that the issue before?
I think it was the issue before, yeah.
Yeah, that was the sad issue.
Yeah, that's what me and Lilith were talking about during Streets of Poison. Yeah, because it's, that whole thing. He's just like, I can be Cap without the serum. And then it's like a couple issues later. It's like, oh, yeah, it's self-regenerating. It keeps coming back.
Well, it makes sense. It would be in his marrow.
Well, that's what I told Lilith. I mean, it's been cooking in there for 50 years. It's going to be changing that body, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just in the blood. Because he's probably gotten blood transfusions before,
Mm-hmm.
Man loses a lot of blood being a superhero and whatnot. But, yeah, so... No, I just thought it was very sad that they leave that one issue with you actually do see... And there's D-Man frozen in the ice.
Yes.
And then poor Jack Frost is stuck forever in the belly of the beast.
Yes, the worm, yeah.
Yeah. But they did look for him at least and couldn't find him, so... Yeah. Anyway. But
yeah, we see, the watchdogs take Bernie back to their lodge or whatever.
Yeah, the lodge, and They're going to have her audit. They were actually going to let her go, and then they said, "Well, he knows Mike, and maybe he could be the bait for the trap for Mike."
Mm-hmm.
Which they then didn't even need, because Mike just goes up to Stu and says, "Hey, man, can I talk to you?"
I know.
Comedy of errors. Comedy of errors.
And then, Cap, while he's waiting for news, is working out in the gym, trying to work off some frustrations when U.S. agent shows up.
Yeah, U.S. agent comes in, and, I mean, they say that the fourth panel is where he puts the tracker on Steve. I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't... Well,
there's a little, flare on the top of U.S. agent's shield. I think that's what they meant that's supposed to be, but...
Well, they kind of show part of his hand on Steve's shoulder, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it's the other hand, or, we just don't see the hand on the panel.
You think you'd notice the tracer on his back, That's...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little weird one, but anyway, it's okay.
Because U.S. agent's like, I hear you have a lead on the watchdogs. I went in, and Cap even knows. He's like, he's had run-ins with them. They're responsible for the death of his parents. I don't need to be babysitting this powder keg. No.
Exactly. Although, as he later says, no, I'm different now. I'm a kinder, gentler berserker. Because got to remember, this was the Bush years.
Mm-hmm.
The Bush years.
But no, he's like, I'm the leader of the Avengers. I say who goes on what mission, and that's when U.S. agent's like, oh no, they kicked me out in issue 69, and Cap's like, dude, you really don't need to be here.
Although one thing I found was interesting in this is that the president is not George Bush. It's somebody named George Walton.
Oh.
If you look at the Avengers ID card, where it's got all the signatures, the presidential signature isn't George Bush. It's yeah. So I found that interesting. Just because they had just previously established that, yes, this was a Ronald Reagan presidency, then in the new one, they just put in a new name. I don't know.
Unless someone said something, be like, yeah, don't you be using real presidents anymore.
Yeah, maybe. The whole fangs on President Reagan was maybe a little bit too subtle for some people.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they go to the hunting lodge for rich weirdos. They defeat the bad guys. They find Mike and Bernie, and then Mike confesses and does the right thing. And U.S. agent breaks into, and he's going through the watchdogs, but then he's like, no, I said I won't kill. I confess to that scarecrow. Yeah, thou shalt not kill. It's like, clearly this guy is not well.
Oh no, he's like, I may have promised not to kill, but I'll put you guys in a world of hurt.
Yeah. Isn't that how you got into this problem in the first place? I'll put you in a world of hurt. Now you'll know what I feel with pain. It's like, no, don't do that,
Yeah. U.S. agent here at the end, U.S. agent's thinking, he put this bug on Cap's shield.
Yeah. Exactly, and you don't really see it. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
They say he does it in this panel, but you don't see that in the panel.
I know, you don't see it, but I mean, I could kind of see, maybe sneaking it on the shield, because Cap wouldn't maybe feel it, and again, too, John Walker knows that shield, so it's like, oh, hey, there's a little, Yeah,
there's a little divot right there. I can stick it right in there, no problem. Good old micro technology, better than a spider tracer.
Exactly.
And that's that issue. No resolution for Bernie. Mike had to shave his glorious mustache, and and that's the end of that story.
Well, I mean, the whole Bernie thing was ongoing, but then too, eventually, Mike. Mike comes back, right?
Oh, he does?
Yes. He's all mad. He blames Cap for ruining his life. He comes back, interestingly enough, as the new Super Patriot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that. Yeah. But
that's when the super soldier serum started to fail Cap, and he had to wear that armor and stuff.
Oh,
it was around that time, yeah.
Yeah. I love when they brought the armor back in the final battle between old Captain America and the Superior Iron Man.
Yes.
And And then both those stories just ended without explanation.
Oh, well, yeah, they ran into Secret Wars, and I guess Secret Wars, like, fixed Tony Stark, superior Iron Man, yeah.
And then, but they brought back old Cap. So they couldn't just fix Cap, too. That would have been cool, too. It's like, I guess, except they had to have continuity.
They had plans for Cap. Iron Man, they're just like, oh, no, Bendis is taking over. Yeah, just send him back to status quo.
I think Bendis might have had a lot more fun with Superior Iron Man.
Probably.
But what are you going to do? Yeah, so that was these issues.
Yes.
And they were, they're very good issues. Maybe I don't do them justice here, but they're very good issues. They deal with a lot of interesting things, a lot of introspective thought, a very Achilles in his tent kind of stories of men and women and gods and monsters dealing with what's going on in their heads and what it means to be a superhero or just some dude who decides to firebomb places because he doesn't like rap music. And I gotta say, the whole re-education camp stuff, that was really creepy.
Oh, yeah.
They got the shock collars on everybody, and, everyone's just being obedient, and it's like... You also get the Ilsa of the SS Watchdogs there.
Oh, yeah.
Watchdogs Women's Auxiliary. Because they're the ones in charge of re-education. Which makes sense when you think about it, because it's like, well, we want that wholesomeness, and so... We'll put them in sexy S&M gear and have them shock these people until they obey, because that's wholesome. Because really, people that are all about wholesome, always very, very repressed.
You must think as we think.
Yes, exactly. Whoo, doggies. But yeah, very good issues. Very, I love this run of Cap. This was when I really got into Cap for a while, and I was reading Avengers on a regular basis. And back in the 90s, this was 1991, I was a junior in high school, so I could even drive to the comic book store myself. It was awesome.
Nice.
You never know power until you can drive to the comic book store by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And you could buy whatever you wanted. It was great. And yeah, so great stories. Thanks for bringing me in onto the Comicscapers, Philip.
Hey, no problem. I mean, if you
I'm
want,
available as you need.
I was going to say, if you want in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing the U.S. Agent's first miniseries. So.
Okay, I will see if that's on Marvel Unlimited, and
I'll
be happy to join you again. Hopefully, the guy can calm his roll.
Yeah. All right, so everyone says send in your thoughts, and if you want more U.S. Agent in 2 weeks, that first miniseries, I think it's from 1993. It's like a 4-issue miniseries. U.S. Agent deals with a priest, so we get more introspection. But anyway, email us your thoughts on all this Cap stuff we've been talking, the upcoming stuff, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Comic Capers on Facebook, on Twitter. Follow all of our stuff. There's links to everything all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer, Pod Life the Book, now in digital and paperback. And when you go to buy all of that on Amazon, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and Rob Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain, so says Master Doom.
Charlie Esser.
Well, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Moz and Poz once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet the last 2 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the big 2-hour season finale coming soon at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing.
Thank you, Maz.
All right, everyone. Yes, thank you for joining us. Again, I'll slap this together with the one I did with Lilith. This is going to be a big episode, so thanks for joining us for all this Cap fun. And again, next week, Wade's World. In 2 weeks, U.S. Agent miniseries. Yay! I don't know about Lilith. I don't know about Lilith, but I've been enjoying this trip through the 80s and 90s.
It's been fun. And more U.S. Agent to come.
That's right. All right. See you next time, folks.